Welcome to ILTV's Israel Daily. I'm Amit Harari, and coming up in today's newscast, high-stakes talks in Cairo aim to secure release of Israeli hostages amidst rising tensions in Gaza. US President Biden urges swift agreement. Israel bans UN Special Rapporteur, sparks diplomatic firestorm over anti-Semitic remarks. And from war zones to home zones, Israel's property boom welcomes global influx. In Gaza, Defense Minister Galan says Sunday night's hostage rescue operation in southern Gaza's Rafah was a turning point in the campaign against the Hamas terror group and that there will be more operations. For more ILTV's Steve Leibovich.
IDF troops continue to advance in southern Gaza, and the army can now go anywhere and do anything. That's the message from Defense Minister Galan, referring to the daring rescue of 2 Israeli hostages on Sunday night. Galan promised that there will be more operations. The cost of the war is continuing. The IDF has announced the names of 5 soldiers killed in recent Gaza fighting, bringing the total of fallen since the start of the ground operation to 232. Meanwhile, Egypt has toned down its rhetoric about an expected IDF advance into Rafah on the Gaza-Egypt border. Foreign Minister Shukri said Cairo has no intention of severing its peace treaty with Israel. The comment came amid Egyptian fears that the IDF move into Rafah may lead the 1 million-plus residents sheltering there to flee south and cross the border. Israel says that the UN is obstructing efforts to move Gazans seeking shelter and relocate to designated safe zones as the IDF moves towards Rafah. Israel is demanding that the UN change course before it's too late.
The United Nations and international actors now face a fateful choice. Do they want to save Hamas or save Palestinian civilians? They cannot stop Israel from dismantling the last 4 Hamas battalions in the Gaza Strip and securing the release of the 134 remaining hostages after the October 7 massacre. But the decisions they make now can still protect civilians from the war that Hamas has brought on them.
A 15-year-old boy and a 47-year-old woman were seriously injured in Kiryat Shmona as Hezbollah fired anti-tank missiles near the Lebanon border. The teenager was rushed to Haifa's Rambam Medical Center for urgent treatment by a trauma team. The Iran-backed group claimed responsibility, citing it as a strike against a military target. Meanwhile, reports suggest Israel responded with artillery fire towards southern Lebanon. Earlier, Hezbollah reported casualties among its ranks, escalating tensions, and the IDF confirmed neutralizing 9 Hezbollah members within 24 hours. Amidst the chaos, Hezbollah rejected a proposed withdrawal deal from France, insisting discussions are halted until the Gaza war ceases. And now the IDF announces the deaths of 5 soldiers killed in recent fighting in Gaza, bringing the toll of slain troops in the ground offensive against Hamas to 232. They include 3 reservists from the 630th Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel Netanel Yaakov El-Kubi, 36 from Haifa, Major Yair Cohen, 30 from Ramat Gan, Surgeon First Class Ziv Chen, 27 from Kfar Saba. 2 Galan commandos were killed as well. They are Surgeon Major Adi Eldor, 21 from Haifa, and Surgeon Major Alon Kleinman, 21 from Tel Aviv. May their memory be blessed forever. And now mediated talks on a potential deal to free the Israeli hostages in exchange for an extended pause in Gaza fighting got underway today in Cairo. After pressure from the US, Israel decided to send a delegation to the talks despite Hamas' most recent demands for a permanent ceasefire. US President Joe Biden is pushing hard for an agreement that will eventually lead to an extended calm in Gaza. And ILTV Steve Leibovich has more.
After meeting visiting Jordanian King Abdullah in the White House, U.S. President Joe Biden said Washington is working on a hostage deal that could lead to a 6-week period of calm.
As the King and I discussed today, the United States is working on a hostage deal between Israel and Hamas, which would bring an immediate and sustained period of calm to Gaza for at least 6 weeks. which we could then take the time to build something more enduring.
Biden said that gaps remain, but all key elements are on the table. Biden says he encouraged Israel to take part in the talks, despite recent Hamas rejections. Mossad chief David Barnea will lead the Israeli delegation. Israel hesitated before agreeing to take part in the talks because the recent Hamas response to the Qatari-Egyptian mediated plan was unrealistic, with demands for a permanent ceasefire and a withdrawal of IDF troops. While pushing for an agreement on the hostages, Biden is warning Israel that a push into Rafah could be catastrophic.
The King and I also discussed the situation in Rafah. As I said yesterday, our military operation in Rafah, the major military operation in Rafah, should not proceed without a credible plan for ensuring the safety and support of more than 1 million people sheltering there. Many people there have been displaced multiple times, fleeing the violence to the north, and now they're packed into Rafah, exposed and vulnerable. They need to be protected.
The president also declared that he wants the pause in fighting to lead to the end of the war.
We're actively working for peace, security, and dignity for both the Palestinian people and the Israeli people. And I'm working on this day and night.
Following the IDF rescue operation on Sunday night, 134 Israelis remain captive in Gaza after being taken hostage by Hamas on October 7th.
Angels in orange, indeed. United Atala volunteers, who were some of the very first responders to the horrifying sights on October 7, are still recovering from the sights they witnessed that day. And joining me now is United Atala volunteer Leo Horn.
Hi.
Leo, hi. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, really, it's been some heavy 4 months since October 7, the day that has changed the life of every Israeli. I can surely say that. Take me back to that morning, to that day from your point of view.
Right. In the morning, I was praying in the synagogue, and I get on the walkie-talkie. We hear there's war going on, and so I ran home just to tell my wife what's going on to make sure she's okay. I went back to the synagogue, and they need first aid responders to go down south. So I quickly went home. I said to my wife, what should I do? My wife, who's the real hero, she's the one who said to me, you go down and help people. And we never knew what was going on. When we reached Ashkelon, the first person who we evacuated in Ashkelon, we evacuated her from a trunk of a car. She was badly injured, and we still didn't believe what was going on. But later on, when we went into Afakim, that was terrible.
When do you really start understanding how severe the situation is? Because I think till the very late morning hours, people did not understand what's really going on in there.
Right, so basically when we reached Ofakim, every time we did an ambulance, went to the hospital, we were taking 5 guys, 5 soldiers, 5 injured people from the Nova Festival. And what really hit me was we took 5 people in the ambulance. 1 guy was shot on the hand, 1 guy was shot on the leg, 1 guy bleeding from his head, and there was this lady came into the ambulance, and she was crying and crying and crying. And she had a panic attack. So I said to her, what happened? And she couldn't talk, and I'm checking her blood pressure. While I'm checking her blood pressure, one of the people was shot above his head. He had a shrapnel in his head, he's bleeding. Another guy's losing conscious, and I was literally losing myself. But God from above gave me the strength, and I asked her, what's going on? Tell me what's going on. I saw blood pressure was very high, and she said to me, well, my partner was shot by mistake by the Israeli police. I said, what do you mean? She said to me, he ran out to shoot a terrorist and thought he was a terrorist.
I was shocked.
So I was trying to calm her down. I was doing the breathing with her, and she turns around to me, she says to me, do you have a weapon to protect us? I said, no. So she started hyperventilating even more, even bigger panic attack. And I'm trying to calm her down, and it's just going worse and worse.
Leo, and you're still a man that is used to seeing all kinds of situations as a volunteer, as a first responder at United Atala, who's doing amazing work all year round. How are you coping? How are you really healing yourself, if it's even possible, since that day?
So what happened was I did a shift. I started at 10 to 9 in the morning. I finished at 9 o'clock in the evening. I was finished. And 10 to 9 in the evening, I turned around, we get to the Chelet Junction, and I tell the person in charge, who's Aaron Ben Arosh, who's Eli Beer's son-in-law, which was very, very helpful. I said to him, I just can't, I'm about to collapse. So there was an ambulance going to Hatzafim Hospital, and they dropped me off there, my wife picked me up. And when my wife picked me up, I came home, I couldn't even talk. It was just terrible.
Of course.
And my wife, I saw her, she was happy. In her eyes, I saw the tears in her eyes. She was happy that she sent me there. But it wasn't easy to say it like that, sending me. But she's the real hero. She sent me to give my life away to other people.
Incredible. Everything that happened there, I think it's incredible. Every person that got back from the south that day,
Right.
it's really a miracle. I want to ask you, how can we help you, United Atala, during these times? How can we assist?
I think they're absolutely amazing, because when I came home, as I was saying, my wife said to me, well, Leo, I said she had tears in her eyes. She said to me, you need to go and get help. I said to her, we are United Atala. United Atala take care of everyone. They don't leave anyone behind. And guess what? The next morning, I get a phone call from a psychologist of United Atala. They said, we need to talk to you. I said, no, I'm fine. No, we need to talk to you, and you're coming to talk to us. And they took a lot off my shoulders, and that was like, let us breathe.
I'm all chills, and thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you very much.
Here today and telling your story. And I heard there's a book that came out, so we're definitely going to promote it, and everyone has to read what you guys did during that day. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much. And now, after these heroes, the UN continues making the headlines. This time, as Israel has banned UN Rapporteur Francesca Albanese for her controversial remarks. Hostage families are filing to name UNRWA as a terror group. And among all that, UNRWA chief says, I won't resign. Israel has officially banned UN Special Rapporteur on the Palestinian territories, Francesca Albanese, from entering the country. The ban comes after Albanese made contentious remarks linking the October 7 attack to what she termed Israeli oppression of Palestinians. Israeli Foreign Minister Israel Katz and Interior Minister Moshe Arbel jointly declared Albanese persona non grata, emphasizing that her statements were perceived as anti-Semitic and inflammatory. They demanded immediate action from the UN, urging the organization to disassociate itself from Albanese's remarks and dismiss her. Albanese's comments stirred controversy when she argued that the victims of the October 7 massacre were not targeted because of their Judaism, but as a response to alleged Israeli oppression. Her assertion triggered a strong reaction from Israeli officials who highlighted her previous controversial statements and actions, including her participation in a conference with Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad leaders. Meanwhile, in a separate development, the Shurat Hadin Law Center initiated a campaign to designate UNRWA as a terrorist organization after it has been revealed that its workers took part in the October 7 massacre, including kidnapping Israelis, transporting the body of a dead soldier, and taking part in a murderous assault on a kibbutz, while also citing revelations of a Hamas command center discovered beneath UNRWA's headquarters in Gaza. Moreover, UNRWA chief Philippe Lazzarini said he had no intention to resign following Israeli calls for him to step down, stating that only the Israeli government is calling for his resignation while ignoring all findings and allegations against his organization. Antisemitism has continued to dominate the debate over the Gaza war on American campuses, despite the fact American students know very little about what's actually happening on the ground. And ILTV's Emily Schrader took to the streets in New York to ask NYU students what they know about the war. The answers, well, let's just say there's a lot of work to do when it comes to education.
So in recent months, we've seen a huge upsurge in anti-Semitism, especially on American campuses. So we're here very close to NYU, New York University, to hear from students and locals in New York City what they think is going on in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Let's go. So would you say you support more Israel or more Hamas in this conflict?
Oh, it's big free Palestine on this side. Yeah.
So you support Hamas?
Yeah. Wait, that's yes. Okay. Yeah.
They are a U.S. designated terrorist organization, and they're controlling the Gaza Strip right now. So that's the one that Israel's fighting against, the body that Israel's fighting against right now.
That Israel's fighting against, yes.
Would you say that you support Israel more or you support Hamas?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go.
Do we have to answer?
No, I'd rather not.
Do you think that the majority of Palestinians support some sort of Israeli state, like some sort of peace agreement in some borders, any borders?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like there's people that can understand both sides and not be so black and white and find gray areas and things. As long as we can coexist, I feel like there's a lot of people that do support that as well.
So actually, statistically, 96% of Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza don't support Israel in any borders, according to the recent polls, but just for your knowledge. Would you say you support Israel more or you support Hamas?
I support the people who suffer, and that is the Palestinian citizens.
So I was asking if you think the other side is not suffering as well.
They are suffering, but they are different levels.
Generally speaking, would you say you support Palestinian resistance?
Yeah, I support their resistance against the illegal occupation.
So what does resistance mean to you?
The resistance is when somebody is suffering and they are fighting back for that suffering.
And would you support a ceasefire before or after hostages are released, or it doesn't matter to you?
It doesn't matter. Everything needs to stop now so that people can be on the table and talk to each other.
And now for something a little different. Since the start of the war, we have seen a record of people from across the world choosing to make Israel their new home. And this influx of new residents has meant an increase in demand for property across Israel. Well, Sema Hammerman is making sure they work to meet those demands. And ILTV's Ariela Lachiani headed to Jaffa to one of their very special projects. Take a look.
Since the start of the war, we have seen a record of people making Aliyah. So we're here now to show you the most exclusive and unique project you can buy in Israel with the Andromeda Reborn. Come, let me show you around. So here on the first floor, we have two big bedrooms, both with ensuite bathrooms, a guest bathroom, kitchen, living area, with access to outside from each room. This is a very special community combining both Israeli residents and internationals. And the specific apartment is 260 square meters with an additional 100 square meters of outside space. Big open living area with a bar, perfect for hosting. And as you can see just outside, another patio, perfect to sit outside in the summer. What more could you want? Beautiful sea view and various outside areas across the apartment, including an outside kitchen. And the best part is, it's fully furnished, so all you need is your suitcase. 2 floors, ample outside space, this apartment truly gives you the feeling you are inside a house, whilst all the while being in the heart of the city. So this is just one of Sema Hammerman's projects across the country. So if you like what you see and want to see more like it, make sure to click the link and scan the QR code to start the journey of finding your home in Israel.
Yeah, so if you want to learn more about investments and properties in Israel, click the QR code on the screen right now for all the information. And now, anti-Semitism is soaring across the world, and Aliyah numbers are record-breaking amidst the current war in Gaza, with many people looking to buy a piece of land in the Holy Land. And with us now is the active chairman and owner at Sema Hammerman Ltd, Ran Ben Avraham. Ran, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. How are you doing?
Thank you for inviting me.
We've seen the beautiful apartment right now in our VTR. Now, I really want to ask you, I understand there's a drop in real estate prices in Israel right now. Many people are looking to buy a new home, a new property in Israel.
Yes.
What are the trends you're hearing, or what are the trends you're dealing with right now?
Yeah, but first I have to correct you. There's not a drop in the pricing. There is a drop in the selling apartments. When we have a crisis, it's 2008, we had the mortgage crisis, and each crisis we are stopping to sell apartments for this period of time. So now we have 3 crises: the interest, the politics, and the war. All of them are influencing the selling, the amount of selling of apartments, and people are waiting for prices to drop off. Investors are not taking the prices down, So we need to wait.
At least we're hoping for the prices to go down.
Yeah, but they will not. They will not because we have less apartment than the demand that we have in Israel. People, Jews from abroad, they want to buy a house in Israel. They always want to buy a house in Israel. There's something in the Jews that they want the house of their own. They don't want something in a sublet or lease or whatever. They want a house. Now we feel them more these days because the anti-Semitism in all of the world is increasing, and I think they want to find the place to be safe. If they think they are safe now in Israel that we have war, so we as Israelis, we think we are safe. We like to be here when there is war. So we're hearing a lot of people who want to come and buy an apartment. We're still waiting for them.
Yes. Now, you know, Sema Hammerman, we just saw the beautiful apartment, as we said, in Jaffa. The Andromeda one. Where are you spread across Israel? It's only in the center, or are you really widespread across the country?
What's beautiful in Sema Hammerman that we only built in Israel. We only built blue and white. Only Israel. We're building from low end to high end, and also the mid-range. Andromeda is a high-end project. But we are believe everywhere in Israel. We built also in Kiryat Shmona. We built also in Sderot. That Sderot was closed because of the war.
Heavily affected.
But we think that Sderot need new houses. It's more important a new house in Sderot. But we also have our high-end buildings. We had a project called White City. It was in Neve Tzedek. We sold apartment for 60 million shekels. But still, we believe in all of the country, in all of the kind of situation and real estate projects.
Which is important because everyone can really find their place and find their home they would want.
Yes.
Also, we spoke about the uniqueness of Sema Hammerman, and one thing that's really unique about you also, you're building only in Israel, but you're doing really a one-stop shop. You're also marketing, you're also building, you're also owning, you're doing everything inside.
It's very important to know. I'm a third generation in the company. My grandfather started. The Hammerman name is my mother's maiden name. My partner, Chaim Feiglin, is the second generation. We also have the third generation now, Gili. She's doing the new projects. Anyways, we come from construction, and then we go to development. When you buy in Sema Hammerman, you know who's gonna build your house. When you sleep at the bed at night, you look at the ceiling. If it's straight, you know it's Sema Hammerman.
You know it's you. It's everything in-house. I think that's
it's a one-stop shop, A to Z.
Incredible. Now, I want to really send everyone, and the QR code is on our screen right now and during the whole interview, and everyone can get in. Right, and fill their information. You guys will answer them and provide all the info.
It's not you guys, you know, I'm responsible for the marketing, so I will take care almost individually, each one of them, that someone is taking care of them. It's very important to us. We always look in the white in the eyes. We like to be in touch with our clients and, you know, to be close.
So I think the main message is, as we say in the Middle East, yalla, make aliyah. That's the main message here.
You have to do aliyah. This is the best place in the world.
Thank you so much, Han, for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And now let's take a look at the weather forecast. Cloudy skies and windy conditions expected tonight, with temperatures reaching lows of 13 degrees Celsius or 56 degrees Fahrenheit. Then tomorrow, rainy showers are expected alongside a massive drop in temperatures as they reach highs of only 16 degrees Celsius or 62 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's all for today's news. For more updates from Israel on all your devices, check out our ILTV channel, subscribe to our ILTV newsletter, and do not forget to check out our new and improved website, ILTV.tv, with all of the latest news from the heart of the State of Israel. I'm Amit Harari. Stay safe, and thank you so much for watching.